Welcome to another episode of Relatively Famous, the podcast where I, Chip White, talk to relatives of other famous people. What qualifies me, you may ask? My sister is Vanna White of Wheel of Fortune fame. And today, I'm super excited because I get to talk to a brother of an actor that I've personally worked with several times. I love Danny Vinson. He is one of those character actors that's been in so much. He's been a lead in some things. It's like, oh, that guy. Well, the cool thing today is I have his brother, Ranny Vinson. And Ranny and Danny are twins. So don't get confused. We're going to welcome Ranny here in just a second. And thank you.
Relatively Famous Podcast with Chip White.
Ranny, welcome to Relatively Famous. I'm so excited you're on here. I know we've met once or twice up in at a film festival in Alabama.
Yeah,
I'm super
George
excited.
Lindsey.
I love your brother, and I actually feel like I'm looking at
Yeah.
and talking to him. So welcome.
Well, thank you. And I know that Danny feels the same way. I know y'all have worked together, and I've of course known everything that he's been doing, but it's Crab Trap was probably one of his best works, and but I know you had a lot to do with that one
Yeah, I was actually producer
too.
on that
So
one.
yeah, that was good. It turned out really good. Uh, but yeah, we met at George Lindsey's film festival over there in Florence, and um, uh, got to meet with you and talk to you, and I believe I had a premonition that night with your cowboy boots, um, and that's another story for another time, probably.
No, we can talk about that. I remember I had on my red kind of flame cowboy boots, and that was pre
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, and congratulations on moving out there. I got a good friend that works at Corpus Christi
Yeah, we go through there
Army
on our way to
Depot.
Port A.
And yeah, he's down there and finishing up his career, but he's a big hunter out there. But him and his wife bought a small farm or ranch, and they have a few horses, and they love it. It gets hot, but it gets hot everywhere. It's hopefully we're going to get a little calmer weather here, temperature wise, for the next week or so. But it's been a really I have particularly felt it this year. Danny and I both. He was here about 2 weeks ago. He comes and sees me quite a bit, but we were talking about. We had a pretty important birthday, this last one, and I won't give his age away, but
That's okay.
when we're 70, you feel it. But he was doing something out in New Mexico, and a very physical type movie. He had to do a lot of his own stunts, and he found that difficult. But he managed to get through it. But so yeah, it makes a little difference. I tell him he gets all the pawpaw roles now, and I don't think he likes that.
Well, now as a twin, you guys are naturally born close. I know Danny, he loves you, and he said that there's not a bigger supporter in his career than you. He said your mother was first, and you were number
Yeah.
2, but now you're number 1. What was it like for you guys growing up? I mean, my twins. My grandfather was a twin, and I wasn't. And I was wondering if my son was going to be, but it's kind of skipped around our generations. But what's it like being a twin? Because you guys really look and sound an awful lot alike.
Well, we do, and all real close and all, but we we played sports together, and we're good pickers and singers. We could play the guitar. Mom and Dad got us into some lessons from a guy named Tom Swadsale, who played the guitar, and we could sing. Sounded just alike. Sounded like one voice singing the song. But we even played before Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs at a county fair here in Huntsville, and and Danny was probably bitten back then. He liked it, and we never had any trouble getting in front of somebody and singing or something. But he took to it, and then in college we did a little drama work, and mainly to build up our GPA. But it was a lot of fun, and I liked it. We did a couple of plays. We were Keely and Feely in The Hobbit, and that was a lot of fun. But ended up, he kind of stuck to it. We got out, graduated, and went and did the business thing. He just decided one day that he was tired of it, and he got hooked up here with some folks from Montgomery, and they were doing a film, Tom and Huck, and then honestly, not much anymore. No, not really. He kind of got an agent or two and has done most of it himself. He's his own accountant and travel agent, and he does it all himself pretty much, and with the help of some agents. But yeah, I went a different direction, and I worked for the Army for 32 years, and out here at Redstone Arsenal, and that's what Dad had done, and good living, and I got married and had kids, and now who have had kids and love them grandbabies. But he went a different direction, and one thing, twin, you do a lot of things a lot, and you like a lot of the same things, but you are different.
So you kind of went into more of a business. Danny goes into entertainment. What was your life like as working for the Army? What were some things you can talk about? Or because I know we have some questions about your retirement that I love, but what was like life for you working for the U.S. Army?
Well, it was good. It was started out, small stuff. You had an opportunity to go and train, go back to college. The Army has a college in Fort Lee, Virginia, and I went there twice. But it was a good opportunity. I got to go see some of the world, and in my TDY travels, and did some interesting work out at White Sands, New Mexico, and for a couple of years. I was a logistician for a missile system, and a planner, forecaster, keeping things kind of going. And the missile that I was managing was taken off and not used anymore. And so we in turn started using it as a target and take the good warhead off of it. But we did a lot of work out there, and it was 31 and a little bit, but interesting work that goes on here in and around Huntsville. Now, I live in Athens, Alabama, which is, 20 miles west of Huntsville, but that's mainly because that's where my grandkids are.
There you go. Now, White Sands, Arizona, or New Mexico, was that where the nuclear bombs were tested and stuff? Am I right?
Yes, that's it. In fact, I had a buddy out there that over the 2 years that we were working out there, he took me out there as far as he could go. And a lot of the stuff that was in Oppenheimer was in and around that area. And Las Cruces, Alamogordo, it's a big range, and there's nothing out there but road runners and rattlesnakes and lizards as long as your leg, and it's a true wilderness. A lot of nice mule deer out there too, but they wouldn't let me bring my rifle. So, but yeah, we were. I got to know that area pretty good with the work that we were doing out there, and had a good crew out of Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and some good guys, dedicated, and but I was proud of it. I think I mentioned to you a couple of years ago, I hit a major bump in the road. We were diagnosed with cancer, and that changed a lot of things. And one of the things is that you realize what's important out there, and your wife and your kids and your grandkids, and some of that other stuff, shooting missiles and stuff was interesting, but really, that doesn't matter that much to me anymore. When I left the government, that was 12, 13 years ago. I think I told you I took my watch off. And just it wasn't their time anymore. It was my time, and and Danny's still out there making movies.
I love the fact that you said you took your watch off and you haven't worn one in 11 years. It reminds me, Merv Griffin had a president of his company who used to, at the end of every day, he would dump his inbox in the trash, and he would say, look, if it's important, it'll come back. So I kind of look at that the same way. It's like, you know what? My time, if it's important, it'll find its way in.
Well, and that's true. And that old cancer was tough, real tough at times. And it'll put things in order for you. But now I'm still taking some PET scans, and I got one coming up here in September, but I'll probably take one a year for the rest of my life on that. But I had stage 4 melanoma, small cell aggressive, and it was it was a tough nut to beat, but so far so good. Knock wood. Um, we I told you, and I understand how cancer works and how it don't like to leave. It'll come back on you.
Yep.
So we're enjoying every day we can now, and hopefully I will beat it. And I don't say that now though. I won't ever say that I've beat it.
Yeah.
It pretty major force.
Yeah. Well, we were talking yesterday, about you and Danny being very athletic, and really at a point almost so identical that people couldn't tell you apart, and that, the cancer has definitely been rough on you.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that, but also a couple of funny stories about you guys growing up. You said something about taking a test for Danny.
Yeah, as a twin, we played with it, and we enjoyed it. It was always something extra that you had over another brother and sister, but he was struggling in social studies, and so we switched classes one day, and I took a social studies test for him and failed it. And and that was it. We didn't do that anymore. But they never knew it. They never had a clue. And
now, was he mad because he could have failed it himself, or was it
well,
planned that you might actually do well?
I think the good Lord was trying to teach two young boys a lesson, and not to play around with it. But it's a interesting way to grow up, and I think it was we were seniors in high school, and he went to Knoxville with a buddy, and I went to Auburn for a ball game, and that was the very first time that we were ever apart, apart, and we got back, we got to talking about it, and it didn't bother me and it didn't bother him, so we just kept going. And it was, but that was, senior in high school. But we'd always been together, and it shows up now too. Even as old as we are, we're still very, very, very close. And I've talked to him twice this morning by text, and usually 2 or 3 times a week, and then he'll call. But him and Sharon are coming up for my grandson plays football for Athens High School here, and this is his senior year, so they're going to fly up and see one of his ball games. And so of course we like that because they visit, and so we get to see each other still quite a bit, and that's good. Of course, he's got his thing going, and he's liable. Well, we had a planned trip to Nashville that we had to cancel because of this New Mexico movie, and but they were going to come up, and we were going to go shopping and stuff up there, and
now
we had to change.
Over the course of your life, have you been mistaken for Danny and signed autographs in
Yes.
place of him?
Yes, and please don't give away my secret. We count that as pretty hefty income. No, that's what I tell him. I don't think he likes that either. But I tell him that no, he's my brother, uh, uh, but it's still happens. And we just had our 50-year class reunion, Lee High School up here in Huntsville, and I got to see all kinds of good friends and stuff, but missed a few too that are no longer with us. But um, um, Danny, I made him. I was chairman of it. I made him the MC for the program, and oh, he did. He loved it, but we did get to see some of our old friends, and that was a lot of fun. But he still even at that reunion, they thought I was Danny, and I got a few autographs. But
there you go. What was it like for your parents? Two twin boys. Do you have other siblings also, or?
No, man, that was it. When they had us, they were done, and we get to laughing about it now. And of course, they both passed on, but we gave them a lot of trouble, probably growing up, and real mischief when we were little, and still a little mischief. But it's they knew us immediately, of course, by looking. Now we could fool them on the phone, and we sound an awful lot alike. And Danny probably has a more proper way of talking, but he and I could get on the phone with him, and they'd think he was Ranny and me, Danny. But that's the only time that I can remember that we ever confused them. They had us pretty well nailed. When we were very, very little, we had to wear bracelets, and I was Vinson 1 and Danny was Vinson 2. I was firstborn. I was born 20 minutes before he was. And but for a long time, we had to wear those bracelets, and we still have those bracelets, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. I tell you, on the phone, yeah. you would have me fooled. I wouldn't know, because you do have the same mannerism and same vocal tone that Danny does. Of Danny's projects, I mean, he said you've been a big supporter. What's been the most fun for you to go on set or be a part of, or that you really are super proud? Like, oh, that's my twin. Yeah.
Well, I told you earlier, Crab Trap. I've always thought that was some of his best work, and the way that thing was put together, and the setting, he's well, that very first movie that he worked on, got to go out and meet Jonathan Taylor Thomas, and they were filming right outside of Athens here, and he's been very, very fortunate. He's worked hard at it, and like I say, he was on his own, other than an agent, a good agent, and he's self-motivated on that, and has done really good. He's his little 2 or 3 liner in Talladega Nights is one of my favorites, and then he did a Walking Dead that he was pretty good at, and
I remember that.
Yeah, he's like I say, we kind of took to but I just didn't completely take to it. He did. He kept doing it, but I think a lot of his stuff today is his Southern accent, and it's real natural, and that helps him maybe get a job or two.
So would you be open if someone writes a script for the two of you? Would you be open to playing obviously brothers in a film?
Oh yeah. In fact, Miss Evan in Nashville, I'm listed. She is my agent, and that's of course the only one I went up there with him for something, and we had to stop in and see her, and she immediately grabbed me and him, took us to a back room, started taking pictures of us, and then she said, "You never know when a double mint commercial is going to come across."
There you go.
So, but yeah, twins, and it was. And I could see that because it's normal, and we have a good friend, Pamela K. Long, that we went to school with, that used to do a show on ABC, I think it was, Noah's Ark, and there was a set of twins on that show, and the family, they ran a zoo or something. I don't know. That's why Noah's Ark was in there. But those twins on the show, their names were Ranny and Danny. And so every now and again, you'll run across a set of twins, and it's like I told you that time, there's a lot of things that can be done. Good twin, bad twin, things that can happen. I like to say Danny was, we kept him up in the attic and didn't let him out much. And no, not really, but he, I don't think he likes that either.
Well, we're kind of running out of time, and before I go, I want to ask: is there a question that I didn't ask, or something that you really want to share that you want people to know, whether it's about you, whether it's about your brother? What is there something that we didn't talk about that you want to share?
Well, no, we covered a lot of things. I would just suggest to your listeners. Of course, keep listening. But if you got brothers and sisters, give them a call. Pick the phone up and give them a call. Talk to them every now and again. And we got to see Daddy's family. There was 11 brothers and sisters in that family, and very, very close, very tight, to be that large. But yeah, give your siblings a call and tell them you love them, and you never know what tomorrow's going to bring.
That's great advice, Randy. I'm super thankful that you took your time out today to be with us. I'm praying and putting good vibes out for your health. I hope our listeners will. Look forward to actually hanging out with you and Danny again at the same time. And again, thank you for your time today.
Okay. Thank you, Chip, for remembering us and him, and for what you do for him. Y'all get together and do something else.
Well, I got to write a twin movie now, dude. I got to have you both in, you know?
Yeah, you do. It's totally up to you, and we'll talk money later.
Money? Oh yeah, that's that stuff that pays for movies. That's why I'm not making them. Okay. Well, Randy, thank you so much for your time today.
Okay. Thank you, Chip.
All right, buddy.
See you.
See you.
Bye.
Ranny Vinson, thank you for being our guest today. His brother Danny, suggest you Google him. Danny's got a resume like this. He's in all these things. One of those guys, you go, oh, I know that guy. But again, I'm super appreciative that Randy spent his time with us, and I'm super excited and grateful that you, the viewer, listener, took the time out to listen. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you will like, share, tell your friends, families, and strangers. If you happen to be famous or a relative of a famous person you think you might make a great guest, reach out to us. We're always looking for interesting stories to tell. I want to thank Nelco Comics here in San Antonio for our amazing set. We get to shoot in a live comic book store, and I want to thank Nelco Media, our partner, for making this happen. Otherwise, I'd be home doing this. And again, I'm humbly grateful for you taking your time today. Thank you.
You've been listening to Relatively Famous with Chip White. Please like and subscribe to Relatively Famous with Chip White.